Remove everything flashy about personal branding, the viral posts, the polished aesthetics, the perfectly lit thumbnails, the noise. What's left is something most people don't want to hear. Personal branding is a full stack skill game. Not one skill, a stack of skills, each with its own learning curve, each compounding on the next. And depending on how serious you are, that stack determines whether you grow quickly or at the pace of a government website running on the hotel Wi-Fi. Most people think personal branding is a talent contest. It isn't. It is a resource allocation problem disguised as one. In this video, I'll break down those resources, how they trade off against each other, and why two equally talented people can end up in completely different places. Let's dive in. Let's start with the 4 resources every personal brand depends on: time, money, skill, experience. These 4 determine almost everything. And here's how they work. If you don't have money, you need time. If you don't have time, you need money. If you have neither, you rely on skill and build everything yourself. It is slower, it is harder, but it is available to anyone willing to learn. And as you repeatedly apply skills, you get experience. Experience isn't a separate resource. It is what happens when the other 3 compound over time. That is why 2 creators with identical talents can grow at completely different speeds. Not because one is more gifted, because one has access to more resources. That's uncomfortable to admit. It's much easier to blame the algorithm. Now let's talk about skills, because this is where everything succeeds or fails long before money enters the picture. Building a personal brand requires more skills than most people realize: graphic design, video editing, audio, writing, on-camera presentations, and every one of those has layers. Graphic design isn't just making something look pretty. Canva is a great starting point, but stronger branding often requires Photoshop and an understanding of visual identity. Even AI doesn't remove that need. Prompting is a skill, knowing what to ask, how to refine it, how to make it match your message. Video editing is the same. CapCut is enough to get started, but Premiere Pro and After Effects open another level of quality and creative control. Then there is sound. People ignore audio until the comments start asking whether you recorded inside a tin can. Clean audio matters more than most creators think. Writing is another misunderstood skill. Yes, ChatGPT and Claude can write, but writing isn't typing words. It is hooks, structure, storytelling, retention, flow, sometimes SEO, and most importantly, judgment. AI generates output. You decide whether it's actually good. Finally, on camera presence. Talking to a camera is completely different from talking to people. There is no audience giving energy back, just you and the lens, and the ability to hold attention, pacing, time, clarity, confidence. They are all learnable skills. That is why skill stacking is optimal. It is the foundation of personal branding and content creation. This breakdown is helping you. Subscribe. Every week I break down what actually goes into building a personal brand that lasts, not just the highlight reel. Now let's talk about experience, because experience is where everything starts compounding. Experience is skill tested in the real world. It is building your own brand or helping others build theirs. It means you've seen what works, what feels, what skills, what lasts, not because you read about it, because you've lived it. That is why experienced people are expensive. You are not buying their time, you are buying the years of mistakes they've already made. Here's another uncomfortable truth. Virality without experience is dangerous. Attention isn't the goal, keeping it is. Many people go viral once, then disappear because they built the spike, not the system underneath it. That's where experience becomes priceless. And there are only 3 ways to build experience. First, you do it yourself. You build from scratch, make mistakes, learn, improve. It is the slowest path, but it works. Second, hire someone experienced. It is the fastest route, but it is expensive. Real experts don't promise overnight success. If someone guarantees virality in 30 days, run. Third, work with someone in the middle. Someone experienced enough to guide you while still actively building themselves. You grow together instead of simply buying a service. All 3 paths work, but every one of them depends on experience. There isn't a 4th option where experience magically becomes unnecessary. Finally, money. Money is powerful because it buys skill and experience. You can hire editors, designers, strategists, writers, and if used properly, money dramatically accelerates growth. But there is a catch. The market is full of people selling fantasy, guaranteed growth, guaranteed virality, testimonials beside rented cars. The promise changes, the scam usually don't. The truth is much less exciting. No personal brand is built overnight. And there is a difference between being a professional and building a personal brand. Professionals deliver services. Personal brands build identity, storytelling, consistency, personality. This can't simply be purchased. That is why two equally skilled people often achieve completely different results. People don't only buy competence, they buy connection. Personality matters. Tone matters. Relatability matters. That is what creates preference. If you are looking to launch your personal or business brand, the biggest challenge is setup. Many die on the hill before they even begin. That is what I solve. Brand launch from $1,000, brand strategy, visual identity, logo, color system, typography, brand book, social media banners, and a website. Connect with me on WhatsApp. The link is in the description. Now, this is where most people misunderstand personal branding. It isn't software you install once, it's a journey. You don't know your communication style on day one. You don't know how you will come across on camera. You don't know what your audience will respond to. You discover those things through repetition, through publishing, through feedback, through consistency long after motivation disappears. Building a respected personal brand takes years, not months, years, which leaves one uncomfortable question. Do you have the time, the skill, or the money to commit honestly? Or are you still hoping a shortcut appears around month 2? At the end of the day, everyone is balancing the same resources: time, skill, money, experience. Nobody escapes that equation. Even the biggest creators invested heavily in one or more of them. And even with large teams behind them, one thing can never be outsourced: your identity. Editors can edit, designers can design, teams can execute, but nobody can replace your perspective. You can build slowly yourself, you can hire experts, or you can work with a structured theme that helps you bridge both worlds, but you cannot skip the process, because personal branding is long-term positioning and it compounds whether you are paying attention or not. If you're a busy professional who understands the value of building a personal brand but do not have the time or structure to do it alone, that is exactly what I help with: strategy, storytelling, execution, built for long-term authority, not content or content's sake. So subscribe and follow. I document this entire journey in public, the wins, the mistakes, everything in between. Subscribe and follow for weekly content of personal branding, the resources it really takes, and everything I am learning while building my agency. The link to connect with my agency is in the description.